Hi, welcome to Rise and Thrive channel. What if I told you your self-improvement journey is slowly killing you? We're obsessed with optimization. Wake up at 5 a.m., journal, meditate, hustle, repeat. But behind the hashtags and motivational quotes, there's a hidden epidemic. People are drowning in guilt when they miss a workout, spiraling into shame for not being productive 24/7, burning out trying to fix what was never broken. This isn't growth. This is self-destruction in disguise. Today, we expose the toxic truths about self-improvement and how to escape them. Want real growth without the guilt? Hit subscribe and join Rise and Thrive, where we turn self-improvement from a prison into power. Your journey starts here.
We all want to be better, don't we? Faster, smarter, stronger. The best version of ourselves. And if you've ever been online, you've probably seen the self-improvement gurus preaching their formulas for success. They talk about waking up at 4 a.m., grinding while others sleep, eliminating distractions for maximum productivity. It's shiny, it's seductive, and it seems like the magic pill that promises happiness. But what if I told you that behind the glossy facade of self-improvement lies a trap? A toxic mindset that's silently wreaking havoc on people's lives. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the dark side of self-improvement. The parts nobody wants to talk about. Let's start with the concept of hustle culture. The idea is simple. You're supposed to work every waking hour, sacrificing sleep, relationships, and leisure to chase your goals. On paper, it sounds inspiring. Who wouldn't want to be the hardest worker in the room? But here's the problem. Hustle culture glorifies burnout as if it's a badge of honor. It tells you that the only way to succeed is to exhaust yourself, to push yourself beyond your limits, and never stop moving. And for many people, this mindset leads to a dangerous cycle. You start the week brimming with motivation, fueled by coffee and determination. But as the days drag on, you feel the weight of exhaustion creeping in. You ignore it because the grind doesn't allow time for breaks. Eventually, the pressure builds, and one day, snap. Your body, your mind, they're screaming for rest. But instead of stepping back, you tell yourself to keep going. The result? Burnout, anxiety, depression. Here's the irony. The whole point of self-improvement is to create a better life. Yet, for so many, it leads to the exact opposite. A life where work consumes everything, leaving no space for joy, connection, or health. A supposedly empowering mindset becomes toxic the moment it demands that you prioritize productivity above all else. Then, there's the obsession with perfection. Self-improvement tells you, if you're not at your best all the time, you're failing. Didn't wake up early enough? Failure. Ate that slice of cake? Failure. Skipped the gym because you were tired? Absolute failure. Over time, this constant pursuit of perfection becomes paralyzing. You stop celebrating progress because nothing feels good enough. You berate yourself for small mistakes, and before you know it, you're trapped in a cycle of self-criticism that only drags you further down. And it doesn't end there. Toxic self-improvement also thrives on comparison. Social media fuels this with endless highlight reels of people who seem to have it all figured out. They're more disciplined, more productive, more successful. But what you don't see are the moments of struggle and failure behind the scenes. You start measuring yourself against an unrealistic standard, forgetting that improvement isn't about competing with others. It's about growing for yourself. So, what's the solution? How do we escape this toxic mentality? The truth is, real self-improvement isn't flashy. It's not waking up at dawn or working until midnight. It's about balance. It's about learning when to push yourself and when to rest. Improvement means listening to your body, honoring your limits, and accepting that progress won't always look perfect. Some days you'll move mountains, and some days you'll move inches. And that's okay. It also means redefining success. Instead of chasing someone else's version of success, ask yourself, what matters most to me? Maybe it's a fulfilling career, or maybe it's spending more time with your family. Whatever it is, success should reflect your values, not society's expectations. At the end of the day, self-improvement isn't supposed to destroy you. It's supposed to build you up, to help you live a life that's more meaningful, more joyful, and yes, healthier. So the next time you watch one of those shiny videos telling you to hustle harder, remember, there's strength in slowing down. There's courage in saying, this is enough for today. Because sometimes the best way to improve yourself is to simply let yourself be human. You start each day with a singular mission: to be better, to optimize your life down to the very last second. You wake up early, your alarm blaring in the pitch darkness. A cold shower jolts you awake, and then meditation centers your focus. Follow that with journaling, a perfectly portioned keto breakfast, and maybe some affirmations spoken into the mirror while you sip green tea. It feels good, doesn't it? To be productive, organized, disciplined, to feel like you're moving forward. And yet, one day, when life throws you a curveball and you oversleep, or forget your journal, or skip a workout, it begins. That creeping voice comes back. You're slipping. You're failing. You feel the weight of guilt settling over you, questioning if all your progress is unraveling. You're reminded of all the influencers and podcast hosts saying, consistency is key. No excuses. No days off. You start to wonder, have I failed? Am I just lazy? This isn't growth. This isn't self-improvement. It's self-punishment wearing the mask of discipline. Here's the truth. Life isn't meant to be a checklist. You're not a robot programmed to optimize productivity 24/7. Every day, every moment is different. And sometimes, growth looks like moving forward, hitting new milestones, crushing big goals. But other times, growth looks like slowing down, like going for a walk, sleeping in, eating something comforting that doesn't fit into the plan. When we approach life as a straight line, always moving upward, chasing perfection, we set ourselves up for failure. Progress isn't linear. Some days, you're advancing by leaps and bounds. Other days, you're taking a step back to recharge, reflect, or simply just be. And no, rest isn't weakness. It isn't a betrayal of your goals. Rest is productivity. It's the space for your mind to reset, your body to repair, your creativity to bloom. Systems don't need to be optimized every second of the day. They're built to work sustainably, reliably, over the long haul. The same applies to you. So the next time you miss a habit, watch that creeping guilt rise and feel yourself declaring, I've failed. Pause. Remind yourself that perfection isn't the goal. The real path to growth is flexibility, flow. It's knowing when to push and when to pull back, trusting that stepping aside doesn't mean stepping away. You're human. You're not here to check every box. You're here to learn, evolve, try, rest, and then keep trying. Because sometimes, the most productive thing you can do is simply breathe. Imagine this. Someone looks at their phone, scrolling through Instagram, or binge-watching Netflix, and suddenly, they feel that pang of guilt. I should be doing something productive, they think. I should be learning a new skill, reading that book, improving myself. Sound familiar? If it does, you're not alone. A follower once shared something with me that stuck. I feel guilty for watching Netflix instead of learning a new skill. There's this pressure we all feel, like every second of our lives needs to be optimized, hustled, and accounted for. Productivity has become the currency of self-worth, and relaxation feels like theft. stealing time from your potential. But let me tell you something. If you demonize every moment of relaxation, you're walking straight into burnout territory. Because even machines need downtime, right? You wouldn't expect your phone to run on 1% battery forever. So why do we expect ourselves to? The truth is, rest isn't just okay. It's necessary. Think of your mind like a garden. You can't plant seeds and harvest crops at the same time. Sometimes, you need to water the soil, let the sun do its thing, and allow space for growth to happen naturally. That's the beauty of downtime. Neuroscientists call this diffuse thinking. The moments of rest, when your brain makes unexpected connections, solves problems in the background, and gets ready for its next big idea. You see, learning a new skill, reading a book, chasing dreams, those things are important, sure. But so is a quiet evening spent laughing at your favorite sitcom, zoning out to a crime drama, or even just scrolling through cat videos. Relaxation isn't the enemy of productivity. It's the ally. It's the reset button that lets you come back fresher, stronger, and more focused. So, if you've ever felt guilty for chilling out, ask yourself, where is that guilt coming from? Is it a genuine wish to grow? Or is it the pressure to prove yourself, to stay ahead? Because growth doesn't come from endless hustle. It comes from balance. Next time you grab the remote, or fire up your favorite series, just breathe. Trust that it's okay to embrace the downtime, the recharge. Because machines can keep going if you force them. But humans? We're meant to live, not just work. Your worth isn't in what you accomplish after dinner today. It's in who you are, always. Let's talk about something that happens a lot when it comes to self-improvement. Something many of us don't even realize we're doing. You've just had a bad day. Maybe work was overwhelming, or a failed relationship is weighing on your mind. But instead of sitting with those feelings, really facing them, you grab a book about productivity. Or maybe you binge a series of motivational videos, telling yourself, if I just learn how to be better, stronger, or more disciplined, I'll fix myself. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. Self-improvement is great. It can teach us so much about the world, our habits, and how to live better lives. But when we use it to outrun our emotions, when we use it as a shield to protect ourselves from confronting difficult truths, we're not truly growing. We're just running in circles, endlessly trying to fix something that was never broken in the first place. Because real growth doesn't start with striving. It starts with acceptance. It's about pausing for long enough to say, I don't have to fix myself. I'm not a problem to be solved. It's about holding space for your messy feelings, your fear, your doubt, even your pain, and saying, you're allowed to be here too. And that shift, it's not easy, especially when voices in our head whisper things like, you should be doing more, or you should be better by now. But here's a simple exercise to help reframe those thoughts. For 1 week, try replacing I should with I choose. Instead of saying, I should go to the gym, try saying, I choose to move my body today because it makes me feel strong. Instead of, I should read more, try, I choose to spend my evening learning something new because it excites me. When you replace should with choose, something beautiful happens. The pressure melts away, and you reclaim your power. You're no longer chasing an ideal or punishing yourself for falling short. You're making intentional decisions that align with what truly matters to you. Self-acceptance doesn't mean you stop striving for better. It means you start striving from a place of wholeness. You're not changing yourself because you think you're lacking anything. You're growing because you know you deserve to flourish. So, give it a try. For 1 week, every time the word should pops into your mind, catch it. Pause and replace it with choose. Notice how it feels to be in control, making decisions for yourself. Not because of guilt or fear, but because you've embraced where you are. The path to growth doesn't begin with another book, video, or checklist. It starts with you, right here, right now, and a simple choice to accept yourself. Have you ever felt like self-improvement is just exhausting? Like every step forward feels like a battle, and every time you fall off track, it's another reason to be disappointed in yourself? It's okay if you've felt that way. So many of us have. Here's the thing. Self-improvement should feel like love, not like a war against yourself. We live in a world obsessed with productivity, with hustle culture, and this idea that if you're not optimizing every second of your day, you're somehow failing. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you have to earn your worth, that being worthy means hitting goals, sticking to rigid routines, or living like a machine. But you don't have to become a productivity robot to deserve love, respect, or even your own kindness. In fact, self-improvement isn't about perfection. It's not about beating yourself into submission or punishing your flaws. It's about making space for the version of you that's already enough. The version of you that tries, stumbles, and grows. Not out of shame, but out of care. So, let's talk about some of the traps we fall into when we see self-improvement as a battleground, rather than a form of self-respect. First, there's the all or nothing trap, where one missed workout, one lazy day, or one slice of cake sends you spiraling into guilt. Let me ask you, would you react that way to your best friend? Would you tell them one mistake erases all their progress? No, of course not. You'd tell them to keep going, to be kinder to themselves. Yet, how often do we withhold that same compassion from ourselves? Then, there's the comparison trap. We see snapshots of someone else's life on social media and think, why don't I have it all together like them? What we don't see are their struggles, their messy moments, the real, human parts of their lives. You are not behind. You're just on your own timeline, and that's enough. And finally, there's the destination trap. This idea that life will only be good once you've achieved something specific. The perfect body, the dream career, the spotless routine. But guess what? There's no finish line. Self-improvement isn't a destination. It's a lifelong practice, one that can coexist with joy and self-acceptance right now, as you are. So, here's my challenge for you. The next time you decide to improve something in your life, ask yourself, am I doing this because I love myself? Or because I think I'm not good enough as I am? Self-improvement that comes from self-love feels empowering. It feels like creating habits and routines that support you, not punish you. It's about recognizing that you're already worthy of rest, kindness, and care, right now, today. Which of these traps have you fallen into? Comment aware below. Let's start a real conversation about what self-love and self-growth actually look like. Because you're not a machine, and you don't have to be one to live a life that's fulfilling. You're human, and that's more than enough.